Hello everyone and welcome back to Best of the Month. This is the monthly series where a bunch of creators talk about the best board game that's hit their table. It doesn't have to be a new game. Some of us have new games hitting the table a lot. Some of us like to go back and play older games, so there's a bit of a mix for everyone. Well, without further ado, let's pass over to Dave Luza to find out what his best game of the month was.
Hi everyone, my name is Dave Luza. I'm one part of the twitch.tv/Luzapalooza channel where me and my wife Ilka, we play board games there every day. Now, for this month's game of the month, we had Essen Spiel literally in our backyard. And we had this plethora of new games to show you. But the game that I have chosen is one that brought back memories to an alternate reality game that I played, I feel like it was 20 years ago. An alternate reality game was something where you used things in real life, like newspapers, or there were TV clippings, there was part on computers, and you needed to go to real locations in the real world. Everything that happened there, and that's where I won my first Nokia phone. It was called Nokia Game, if you want to look it up. And it was awesome. Well, that feeling came back to me while I was playing The Heist Crime Does Pay, which is a game from Eidventure. If you want to look it up, it's spelled ID Venture. And they made this live mission game. It gives you everything that you won't expect. Let me show you. In this box, there is so many stuff. The story is something like this. There was an organization of bad guys, and we are the good guys, and we're trying to steal their money so they cannot fund their evil operations. Everything was planned up until the finest detail, and then the team leader was not able to make it. So they send us this package and says, hey, this is happening today. You've got a couple of hours to prepare, look at everything. But of course, it was all crammed into one box. So there are notes, but we don't know where to put those notes. There is leaflets for food, sure, if you want to have food, or is it a clue? So we don't know. What we do know is that we use a program called Telegram, which is something like WhatsApp or Signal, and it's using that platform to talk to us. So we are we have got some people that are working for us, and we have them on our phones, and they're showing where they are. They're giving little videos of what they're doing, and then they ask, I'm in front of a gate. What do I need to do? And then they say, I need a code. What's the code? The code is somewhere here, and we need to find it. There's city maps, blueprints, security camera information. There is so much going on here. It is a pleasure to go through this. I had so much fun. The way the game can help you is very easy, almost too easy. It's too easy to say, well, come on, give me a small hint. But it works perfectly. And it was a blast to play. So that's my recommendation for this month. Eidventure's The Heist Crime Does Pay. Thank you for watching. My name is Dave Luza. Bye, everyone.
My game of the month this time is an old favourite of mine, a very odd Euro game from 2010 called Luna, and I've been itching to get the deluxe Kickstarter version to the table for many months. Finally, a let-up in COVID restrictions has allowed that to happen. I'm Adam Porter, and I run a YouTube channel called Adam in Wales, which is full of reviews and top 10s, but has a real focus on board game design. The deluxe version of Luna had a tumultuous release. It was one of the final Kickstarters from Tasty Minstrel Games before they shut up shop. Sadly, some of the backers waited 2 years or more to get delivery of the game. But I played and enjoyed the standard edition for many years, so if that's all you can get your hands on, you'll be absolutely fine with it. Luna looks gorgeous regardless of the edition that you play. In Luna, each player is attempting to gain influence in a cult revolving around a moon priestess and other spiritual gobbledygook. Players attempt to position their novices in the highest scoring positions, trying to hold the majority on an island occupied by a moon priestess, endeavouring to stay away from the island with the apostate on it, and attempting to occupy central spaces in the temple. Of course, this often means manoeuvring your novices to displace your opponents through aggressive play. The novices are moved around the play area when you take actions, and this generally means moving active novices off an island to gain some sort of ability, perhaps gaining additional novices, or moving existing novices around the play area, or moving the apostate to disrupt your opponent's plans. Additionally, you can utilize novices to gain tokens located on each island, which give you access to additional abilities which you can use on later turns. This might allow you to gain access to the temple, or to build point-scoring shrines on the location with the Master Builder, or to protect yourself from attacks by other players. And after several rounds, points are calculated for various different criteria, and the highest scorer wins. Luna is always a surprising game. It feels very different to any other action selection game that I've played. The lovely Clemens Franz artwork immediately recalls the worker placement games of Uwe Rosenberg, but Luna treads its own path. It's unintuitive at first, and it's quite a job to teach the game, but once you're up and running, it's every bit as intelligent and intriguing and challenging as you'd expect from a Stefan Feld game. It's worth noting that this game is extremely interactive. There are many opportunities to be mean to your opponents, whether that's stealing their majority to score the Moon Priestess for yourself, or moving the apostate onto the opponent's island, costing them points, or bumping their novices out of the central temple. This will be a positive for players who dislike multiplayer solitaire games, or games with accidental blocking like Agricola. In Luna, it's always deliberate, so it's not a game for the faint-hearted. If you'd like to see more from me, please head on over to my channel, Adam in Wales. All the best.
Well, here we are again. We are going to talk about our game of the month for the month of October. Thanks again to Oliver for putting all this stuff together. We really appreciate it. We are the Family Gamers.
I'm Anitra.
I'm Andrew.
And our game of the month for October is Super Mega Lucky Box.
This game rules. We love this game.
This is a Phil Walker Harding game. It's a flip and write. Completely abstract. It's just numbers in boxes.
Yep.
But it is combo-tastic.
Totally.
You fill in numbers on your grid. When you fill out 3 in a row, you get some kind of bonus. And a lot of those bonuses allow you to combo in and fill in other numbers on other grids.
Right. So the core of the game is you're flipping out cards like this. And as they come out, you cross off stuff on your grids. Your grids have lightning bolts and stars. Lightning bolts let you adjust numbers if you don't get exactly what you want. Stars will give you points at the end of the game. There's also moons. Or you can cross off some of these numbers. These have question marks on them, which mean that you can pick whatever other number you want to cross off somewhere else, but it might not be a question mark.
These have like 4, 5, 6 over here, so you can cross those off on a different card.
Yeah, this game is super fast moving. Whenever I talk about this game, I get kind of excited because I just think about like all the different things that my brain is doing while playing this game. I'm a little excitable too, I guess.
A little bit, yeah. It's super dependent on luck, so if you get frustrated when luck just doesn't go your way and you feel trapped, this is not a good game for you.
Right.
But otherwise, we have been loving it.
Yeah, so every round, there's 4 rounds in the game, you're going to be flipping 9 cards over, and if you look at one of these cards, there's 9 numbers on it. So when you score, you get more points if you clear your cards faster, but you only get 9, so you really have to be careful if you want to get some of those cards in the early rounds, but that's how you win the game.
Hi, it's Barb MeeplePhD, bringing you my favorite game for October 2021. This month is always about the creepy games and the horror-themed games. My favorite one this month actually came as a huge shock to me. It's Similo Spookies. I picked this up on a total whim the last time I went to my game store, and I'd heard of Similo before, which is a deduction game, a cooperative deduction game. One player knows that there is a secret character on an array of 12 characters, and they're trying to get the rest of the team to identify that one as the secret character by eliminating other ones off the board. Of course, it's limited communication. The clue giver can only play cards from their hand and playing them in such a way to say that they are either similar to that secret character or different from the secret character. And then everyone else has to figure out what they mean by it. I had seen this before. I'd seen some playthroughs. I've never played myself. I was interested in playing, but didn't think I would enjoy it quite as much as I did. Maybe it's the Halloween theme, although I kind of want to try some of the other decks now to see how they compare. This brought about such fun conversations in my play group. Something like, well, is Cthulhu more like the creepy doll or more like Dracula? There's no right answer to that, of course, but it's such a fun, silly game. It only lasts 10 to 15 minutes. It had us laughing so much. I loved being the clue giver and having those moments where everyone is talking themselves away from the right answer, or those really cool moments where they're just in line with your brain and know exactly what you meant by the clue you put down. And as a player, it's super fun to start trying to get into the mind of the clue giver and think about what did they see on this card that you might not see. It's super fun. It's a great filler game. Highly recommended. It's also cheap. Easy to throw in your pocket and bring with you somewhere for a gaming group or to dinner. So if this sounds at all fun, go find a deck that interests you and pick it up. Maybe it'll become your favorite game next month. I'll see you next month. In the meantime, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter as @MeeplePhD, and I've got a blog at meeplephd.com.
Hello everyone, I am Clara and welcome to my segment for Best of the Month, and this month we are going to be talking about Pandemic Legacy Season 0. So Pandemic Legacy, so if you played Pandemic you've probably got the basic premise, but this one adds, the Legacy games, they add aspects, so you do stuff to the board, to the cards, you add extra things in, extra components, extra rules. I love the Legacy aspect. So Pandemic is a game that I enjoy, but it don't feel like there's enough going on. I feel like I need more. I feel like I need extra. And the Pandemic Legacy games give that to me. And they build up those extra rules bit by bit, which is really good fun. So I love this. You've got quite a complex game going on by the end. Now, this is the third one. This is Pandemic Season 0. There was Season 1 and Season 2 and Season 3. You'd think that there's no surprises left. If you played 1, you played 2, you probably think there's nothing to surprise you. But actually there was 2 surprises in this. 2 things that I really, really enjoyed that I wasn't expecting and hadn't seen in any of the others. I would also say that compared to the others, this one is probably my favourite because, well, A, it isn't actually about a pandemic, and even though the theme is maybe a little bit tired in terms of who's the villain and who's the hero, the actual sort of scenario and what it is you're doing and the way you're going about it, I really enjoyed. And I was really kind of pleased. I assume it was sort of accidental that, you know, they released a pandemic game during a pandemic and it turns out it's not about a pandemic. Go figure. But I liked that. So I did enjoy the theme. And this has got one of the most glorious mechanisms for switching characters that I have seen. I don't know. I played through this entire scenario and I really enjoyed it. Throughout the campaign, there was 2 things, like I say, that surprised me. Did it have its flaws? Sure. The scratch-off thing. So it's no surprise that in some of the others, there's scratch-off things. The components weren't good in this. There was also some rules that I thought they needed more explaining, or basically they just didn't note it. You know, I just felt that the rule book needed a little bit more playtesting, a little bit more extra. But in terms of the actual game, I had so much fun with this. I really enjoyed it. It's probably my favourite. I enjoyed Season 1. I enjoyed Season 2, which I realise has its detractors. But Season 0, for me, my favourite one. The replayability, way better. In these games, if you lose in the first half of the month, usually you replay the same scenario in the second half of the month. This one has a mechanic to make it feel different each game. So that meant that every game was different. It's brilliant. Go play it. Pandemic Season 0. Bye.
So my best of the month, it kind of had to be because I have absolutely loved this one. It is Iki from Sorry We Are French. Now, Iki is a game, it's set in Edo era Japan. You're going around this rondel market. And if you want to know all the details, well, there is a review on the channel. So please go and check that out. I think it's pretty glorious. But why do I love this? Well, in recent months, it's been sort of chances to get sort of a medium, heavier game to the table have been limited. And then other ones that I have got to the table have been faffy in a way. The rules have been just a bit weird, and, well, Iki is not like that, basically. It's got very simple, obvious turns, all the actions, the iconography and everything, it works really well to make what could be sort of a daunting game not daunting and look glorious on the table. As you're going around this rondel, you are going to stalls or these shops, and they've got sort of employees. You know, you can go to a shop, you can trigger both of those actions. That might get you tokens, you might be spending tokens for different things. You're hiring these employees, and it sounds like a lot, but each part is done in a really sort of simple, easy to understand way, which means you as the player, you are left not wondering what can I do, but what should I do? You've got the choice of, do I want to move around this rondel slowly, hitting all of the action spaces that I want, building up the resources to go and build buildings towards the end of the game? Do I want to go up the fire tracker, because that's going to be good for stopping fire, but also allow me to choose first when I'm choosing how far around the rondel I want to go? And all of these choices build together to make really interesting choices. Like, do I go for these buildings? Do I go for retiring a lot of characters and having a lot of passive income? Do I keep going in regions because I'm getting harmony scoring bonuses and stuff? And there's a lot of ways to score points, so it means that, you know, no matter how well you've done something and you kind of feel some progression, but you can really score a lot of points in a few different ways. And it's the sort of game that every time it's hit the table, I've really enjoyed it, no matter how well or how badly I've done, and I've done pretty badly on a couple of occasions. Also, the fact that there is a two-player slight variation. Normally, I don't like the admin of two-player games constantly having to do something extra to sort of dummy in a third. Well, it kind of works in this, because it's like you're adding in some cards that are almost like travelling salesmen at these market stands. So it kind of even works in the theme. So yeah, I've enjoyed this at 2, I've enjoyed this at 4, even at 3. That's the full range. So yes, really enjoyed it. If you want to know more, please check out the review on the channel. That is Iki, my best game of the month. And well, let's pass off to another creator.
Hey everybody, I'm Evan.
And I'm Grayson.
And here we are with our best of the month for the month of October.
Spooky.
We played some spooky games this month, and I think we played a lot of great games this month, so it was kind of hard to narrow down. So what I'm ending up picking for my favorite is Last Night on Earth, the zombie game, which is a kind of a team game where one side plays the heroes and the other side plays the zombies. We ended up being on the hero side. And we ended up losing, unfortunately. There's a big stack of scenarios in this box, and we picked one where we had to repair the truck. And in order to repair the truck, we had to commit our event cards. And the event cards that you draw do all kinds of crazy stuff, but unfortunately we couldn't use them because we had to use them to finish the scenario. Aside from like an epic moment where his mother was like the nurse in like the back of a building, like, and as the zombies were coming in, she had an axe and she was chopping them up as they came in. We still ended up losing.
Yeah, I killed her with a bite, which I had tons of this type of card where it would just immediately kill her once they got another wound.
Right, so yeah, so she got bitten and that was the end of her character, and we lost too many and ended up losing the scenario. But we still had a great time with this game.
It's still really fun.
It's a good experience. I mean, it's a lot of dice rolling and card drawing and attacking the other players and stuff like that.
It's still really fun.
But like, I really enjoy like the B-movie type aesthetic, because hey, like, who doesn't like B-movies? Maybe you don't, but I sure do. That's the kind of thing I watch all the time. So yeah, this emulates that sort of thing perfectly, and yeah, it's my best of the month. Last Night on Earth.
My best of the month is Riverboat. Riverboat, it's complicated, but once you get to know it, like, it's easy.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, but so you basically draft these action tiles here, and when you draft it, you get to be the first one to do it, and also you get a bonus up here. It depends on which card you get for what bonus. Basically what you do is you place the dudes out on these on the tiles in the board.
Yep, you have a farm.
And then the next section is that you place the farm tiles on the board.
Plant the crops. Yep.
There's 1, 2s, and 3s, and then you harvest those to get these the boats here, which the boats it gives you pretty good points and stuff. But you need you need to harvest the same crop.
Right.
To actually get the higher amounts.
Yep.
It goes all the way up to 7, so you can get a lot of points out of that. Cause you had after you harvest, you can pick the goals here.
Yep.
Which
scoring
like this
cards.
one's potatoes.
Yep.
You get potatoes, and you use the green dudes to actually score them.
Right. You need to place them on.
Yep.
So even though you get the scoring cards, you have to trigger them with
you place the green dudes on phase 5.
Yep.
So it's pretty simple once you get to know it.
So here's the question then, Grayson. Why did you like playing this month so much?
Because I absolutely decimated you.
Yeah, it was a complete blowout. He totally saw the Matrix in this game, and every action he did was the most efficient action that was possible, and his points just kept getting higher and higher.
Points.
and the other 3 players had about the same score, and his was double. It was pretty embarrassing.
It still would have been even crazier if I got my surveyor farther, because he barely made it across the track.
Right, I did that, and it didn't even matter. So, yeah. Okay.
I'm still not sure how I got.
I don't know. You just, like I said, you saw the Matrix. All right. Hey everybody. So thanks for watching, and if you want to check out our channel, we have some fun videos on there, and we'll see you next month.
Bye.
Hey, I'm Grant with Grant's Game Rex. We're in Halloween season, so obviously I've been playing a lot of Halloween games this month. And, a lot of them include the classic ones, Mysterium, Horrified, things like that. But one that I've been really into this month is Tower of Madness from Smirk and Dagger Games. This is like the old children's game Kerplunk mixed with Cthulhu horror, and it's really silly and fun. In Tower of Madness, you will be rolling a set of dice and trying to get successes. You need a 1, a 2, and a 3 to succeed. If you don't succeed, you'll have to pull a tentacle from the tower. The tower is full of marbles that will fall. Some of them are good, and some of them are bad. Blue marbles get you 3 points. White marbles get you spell cards that help mitigate dice rolls. But red marbles make you go insane, and green marbles call Cthulhu. If you succeed with your dice rolls and you have the highest number on your 2 combined extra dice, you will win locations. Whoever has the most location points at the end of the game wins the game. I play a lot of my games with non-hardcore gamers, and I think this game is a great game for that type of an audience. If you're playing with your family or with casual gamer friends, this game is great for 2 reasons. 1, it has amazing table presence. Obviously, I didn't need to tell you that. You've seen it. It looks awesome and really cool and is kind of unmatched in table presence. And 2, the game just comes with a ton of emotional table reactions, and I think those are great for making a memorable experience for non-gamers. When you pull a tentacle and a marble comes out and you're like, whoa, what color is it? Oh, I'm gonna remember this night for the rest of my life. Yes. I think those are really great moments to bring people into the hobby. Make no mistake, this game is largely luck. You are rolling dice and pulling tentacles. There's no strategy in either of those. There is a fun push your luck aspect to it where you can kind of keep rolling and trying to get what you need, and that's also an area where there's a huge table reaction when you're like, I've got a 1 in 6 chance of getting this, and then when you get it, you're like, ho 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 ho! Suck it, everybody else. That is Tower of Madness. If you're looking for a silly, fun, thematic time, then this is a good place to look.
Hi everyone, neverboardofgaming here, and my best of the month isn't just one game, it's actually a genre of the games. And I might be copping out a little bit here, but my genre of the month is trick-taking games. So, to start, I had played trick-taking games in the past, like Hearts, all the classics, and never really enjoyed trick-taking. But recently I played The Crew, and oh my gosh, I was head over heels. I love The Crew. I was like, I didn't know trick-taking could be this fun. So I dove in further with the help of some of my gaming buddies and have played a copious amount of trick takers this month. A few special ones to name are Scout, Trick of the Rails, Voltreffer or Bullseye, and Ambient Abyssal. I've played these games, and a lot of them you could play with just a standard deck of cards, but there are nice additions around. And honestly, this whole genre is so fun. There are so many different things and interesting things that you can do with the trick-taking mechanism, from drafting to set collection to card shedding to combinations to trying to get cards, trying not to get cards, leading tricks, not trying to lead tricks. That I feel like I'm just at the tip of the iceberg of this genre as a whole. So all I can say is I still have more exploring to do, but the next 5 months might just be different weird trick takers because I love them so much, and I'm buying more and more cool sets of playing cards, and somebody needs to stop me. So that's my best of the month. Hope you guys have a great one. Bye.
Hi, I'm Kat and I play Red. This month, my game of the month is actually 4 games. Ultimate Railroads. Russian Railroads has been one of our favourite worker placement games for many years, and this is the new edition. It comes with Russian Railroads, German Railroads, American Railroads, and new content in the form of Asian Railroads and 2 new modules that add extra stuff. It's quite a simple worker placement game at heart. During your turn, you're going to place workers on the board and move your tracks up. So here I'd move 2. You're going to move your tracks up to gain points at the end of each round. There's also an industry board section, so you're going to move your industry marker up the board using the spots there to gain points. Once players have used all of their workers, the round ends and scoring occurs. It's one of those games where in the first rounds you're going to gain maybe 4 or 5 points, and then in round 6 or 7 you have the potential for earning maybe 200 points. Love the way it escalates. We love the game. Really pleased to see a nice new version of it with everything all in one box, albeit a very big box. Game of the month, Ultimate Railroads, Handsome Gluck. This is actually the German version. The English one will be coming out in the near future.
Hey everybody, and this is Melanie, and I am the Boardgame Maman. So we are looking at the top games played for the month of October, and in number 1 position this past month was Mansions of Madness 2nd edition. So this is a pretty new game into my collection, and it's actually an app-driven game. So you have the board game, but you also have the app that kind of takes care of all the minutia for the game. So this one is really neat, and you start with the one tile where all the characters starts with. I personally like to connect the app onto the TV as well so everybody can see the big screen, and I highly recommend that you pass the phone or the tablet, whatever you're using, around for whoever the active player is so they can read when it's on their turn and kind of manage the device during that time, just to keep everybody involved, because otherwise it tends, or it can easily be where one person does everything else and the others are just kind of being directed as to, okay, you can roll your dice now, and so that can make the game a little bit less pleasant if you do it that way. But what's really neat with this one is, so you have the tiles, and on the app it'll show, okay, this is a tile, and it shows you there's something here that you can go and investigate, or you see that there's a bunch of papers that's, you know, spread out all over the floor, so you can kind of go and look into that a little bit closer, and you notice that there's a weapon on the table or different things like that. So when it's your turn, you can, okay, well, I'm going to go investigate the paper, or I'm going to go and pick up this weapon, or I'm going to go to this door and open the door and see what's on the other side, and you don't know until you open the door, and then when you click on that, the app will move into, it's like, okay, great, now go find this tile and add that to it. So you don't know what the map's going to look like until you kind of, you know, went around and looked into all the rooms and all that stuff. And the story aspect is also very well developed, and you know, research some things, and then you find clues, and it's like, oh, you found this, and now you go grab this card and you add that to your things. And it was really neat. In true Cthulhu themed games, you know, your character can take physical damage as well as mental damage. You have the dice where you'll have different skill tests or attacks when monsters come about. It's really neat as well, because on the app you'll kind of do the player's turns, and then the monsters will have their turns, and then it says, okay, it's moving towards this location, and if you're within range, then you got to take a sanity test, or maybe it's attacking you, and you got to do the kind of defend yourself against it. Very, very thematic. Such a great looking game, and it is so fun. This is a close-up of the tile. Like, the artwork is so detailed, it looks so good. There's multiple different scenarios that you can play, and as well there's expansions that you can get to get more and change up the stories more often if you want to as well. This was my character. You're taking, you know, the physical damage, you're taking the mental damage as well, the sanity damage. If you ever take sanity damage that totals your sanity level, then you go insane and you got to take an insanity card. And depending on what it says, and you read this to yourself, and you don't tell any people, could be that it says actually you're pretty sane, so you're okay, you're not really affected by this. Or it could say that you've gone a little bit insane and it changes your win condition for you, or you do no longer trust anybody, so you can't trade items with anybody. Like, it just different all the time. You'll be collecting spells, special items that will apply. You know, sometimes you become exhausted, or different things will apply to you, and then you'll have to draw the cards, and it'll affect what you can and cannot do. So that was my #1 game, but every month I do the top 9. So if you want to know about the other 8 games that made it into my top 9 for the month of October, be sure to follow me on Facebook at Didsbury and Area is playing all the games. I'm also on Instagram as Boardgame_Maman, and my YouTube channel is Boardgame Maman. So see you soon, everybody.
And well, that about wraps us up. Thank you very much for watching. Let us know in the comments section below which of the games has made it to your wish list, because let's be honest, at least 1 or 2 have made mine. There's even been a couple of games that I hadn't even heard of, which, well, I think that's part of the joy of board gaming. There's so many released, and well, you're going to miss some. But hopefully we don't miss the gems, and that's what a video like this is for. Make sure to check out all of the creators involved. Their information will be in the description box below. Under their timestamp will basically be a link to either their channel or their social, so you can go and follow them or subscribe to them there. And well, until next time, have a great month gaming.